So,
Yes, sir.
yes. What is happening, guys?
What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the BSR podcast.
Let's go.
Black Star Reflections. Everybody feeling okay today?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
I can tell everybody's looking and thinking, who is this new person?
Uh-huh.
We've got Henry in the building today, everybody. And Henry is one of our favorite people. I kid you not. Most of the times we spend engagements and occasions with Henry. Henry as well is a very well-traveled person. And basically, the baseline is that he's one of our favorite people. And I guess that everybody that's listening today on this podcast will be happy to have him on. How are you doing, Henry?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well, thank you.
That's good, bro. We're excited. We're pumped.
We're pumped. Yeah, we did promise everybody on that on season 2 we will be bringing a lot of guests on.
Exactly.
Henry had to be the first one.
Am I the first?
You are the first one, bro.
Privilege.
Bro.
Anyway, welcome, Henry. Welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Take us. I don't know. I want to dig in. I don't want to waste.
You wanna jump?
I just want to jump in. You know?
All right, let's do it.
We might as well do it. So tell us a bit of it. I know Henry as Henry who's into tech, and Henry that's a Nigerian, Henry that loves Arsenal as a football club.
Yeah.
But tell us a bit more about yourself.
I think you've pretty much summed me up there. Part of who I am is Nigerian. I wear that on my sleeve, heart, everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Of course, as you said, I'm in tech. I'm a big Arsenal fan, big football fan in general. And it's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Amazing. It doesn't work too well for me because obviously I'm a Liverpool fan.
I mean, let's not go there. It might be too early in the podcast.
If we go there, then we'll probably leave Cyril. And of course, for Cyril is more of a UFC and a boxing fan. Anyway,
but MMA fan.
Yeah, good. Anyway, tell us a bit more about yourself. You've come in this country as obviously we are recording now in the UK.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more how you got here.
That's a
loaded question.
It's deep, isn't it?
Well, I guess there's a part where how I got here today, and then my journey all the way to here, I suppose. But we could do both.
Yeah.
I obviously, as I said earlier, I'm from Nigeria. I was actually born in Nigeria.
Okay.
Born in northern Nigeria. I don't know if you guys meet a lot of people from.
I have a really good friend from northern Nigeria. Shout out to Imran.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So I was born in Kano State in Nigeria. I moved around in Nigeria. I would say a bit before I moved here, like different states in Nigeria. And then when I was 18, I moved to the UK to study.
Oh, absolutely great.
So I have been in the UK. Well, I was in the UK until maybe some months ago.
This guy.
Globetrotter.
Yeah. So when it comes to like moving, yes, I'm always on the move, or I'm always thinking of the next movement. So I lived in the UK for nearly 20 years and then moved to the US.
That's wild.
All right. Okay. That's really good.
Then I think as it relates to my journey here today as well, obviously we've been talking and we all know each other, and, we live around this area. And, I happen to be in town on some engagement, and so it's just a great opportunity to be back here.
He just lined up
Lined up with the schedule brilliantly. I mean, talking about your life since you when you moved into UK, obviously, because I'm sure you are one of our biggest fans, and you've listened to BSR podcast many times, and we've talked about how we got here and the experiences and all of that.
Yeah,
obviously, you've come in here from Nigeria, like you said, so almost welcome.
Thank you.
What are some of your first impressions when you first got to the UK? Because in one of the episodes before, Cyril and I was talking about
we did.
He had to go in the supermarket and buy a already made rice, and he was thinking, how am I going to eat this?
Because as some of you, well, most of you know, those are watching, those that have watched the first few episodes, I moved to Canada when I was 22.
Yeah.
So about 10 years ago. So moved to Canada, and then, I think most of us have a similar experience in terms of like culture shock, and then just trying to figure out how how life is going to be. But as Reg said, like, what was it like for you?
Like I would say very different. As you know, like Nigeria is a completely different environment compared to the UK.
Yeah.
Like culturally, well, I think one of the shocks for me was that UK was a bit more of a subdued environment, I think, from a personality point of view. But I had the privilege of having family members already in the UK. So that helped my transition into the UK. But still then, there were other things that I still had to figure out. Like one of my earlier days, like one of the most random things I would do is just get on the bus and not just like ride. And so like within a few months of moving to London, I practically knew nearest damn it everywhere in London. So I just get lost in a bus.
You figure yourself out.
Yeah. But it was a great experience and transition for me. Like given the time that I moved, also the time of my life that I moved as well, because at that age you're kind of like at the transition of being someone young and then moving into adulthood. I mean that
19 is young.
It is
in
young,
African statement, that's proper young.
Yeah.
You can be 30 and you're still a child for your parents.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's really good. And I mean, that reminds me when I said that when I got here, I was quite intrigued with the fact that you stay on the bus stop, the bus will be there at 13, 19, and it actually gets there at 13.
Bro,
I was thinking, wow, that's magic.
How exactly, bro? I still wonder to this day,
isn't it?
Yeah, to this day, I still like it baffles me still.
I love that part though. Like it's one of my favorite things, I have to say, where like things work how they should. I remember one of my first trips back to Nigeria. We were in Lagos with my sister, and we were in the taxi, and I was asking her, when are we gonna reach where we're going?
How would I look at the traffic in front of me?
At this point, I had already spent 2 years in London and had gotten used to like the system. Okay, if I need to be somewhere at 2:00, if I leave my house at 1:15, I'll get there at 1:50, and I can walk and then get there. And she literally looked at me and said, "We'll get there when we get there." Just get there when you do, and
that's the thing, isn't it? You feel the impact right away when you arrive. And then obviously you've been here 20 odd years before you moved to the US, so you can clearly tell that we can get a mass amount of experience from you.
Oh yes.
We're only reflecting back to the early days because obviously we reflect on this podcast.
We like to do that,
We'll talk about the middays and we'll talk about the end parts and all of that.
Yeah.
But I just want to know, when you came here to study, were you actually going into tech right away, or was there something else that you were studying when you got here?
That's an interesting question. For me, I wanted to give myself as much option as possible. So when funny story, when I was growing up, I actually wanted to be a priest.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
If you go that rabbit hole, we are ready to go.
No, but that was the first thing for the first, let's say, 7-8 years of my life. And then subsequently, I wanted to be an accountant.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had gone through these phases of things that I wanted to do before I came to the UK. But on getting here, I was exposed to, I mean, it's a different environment, and I was exposed to a lot, tech being one of them. and I didn't go into tech right away. Actually, so when I was at uni, I studied mathematics, and accounting.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And
so not to cut you, but you cut off the theology side and went into accounting.
I started moving into the world.
Yeah, you were trying to feel
certain things were starting to attract my attention. But essentially, at this point, what that allowed me to do was just to open my options up. And I know we talked about football earlier.
Yes.
Funny story is one of the earlier jobs that I did was in betting and gaming. So in sports.
Wow.
Street. That's the street. You have to find something to do.
Absolutely. You have to look for something to do, and so it was something that offered me the opportunity to combine my interest and what I was good at. And so those were my early days. That was my early journey. I actually came into tech later on. I had worked for about 10 years before I actually got into.
So halfway down the line.
So halfway down the line, it's sort of like, I need to try something else. Then I moved into digital marketing, working with an agency, but then partnering. Or actually, I had tech companies as my client. I don't know. Do you guys mention names here?
Yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Do you want to?
Yeah. And so that kind of like got me into tech, and I've sort of been there since.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool stuff, isn't it? Cyril is our tech guy here, so he'll be the one to ask most of the questions.
Out of curiosity, like what area of tech are you? Are you still in like the digital marketing space? Or are you?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I am in digital marketing, and I am within the data side of digital marketing.
Interesting.
But I've been in, I know I talked about different industries and spaces that I've been in, but they, like the common theme along all of those for the roles that I've done, they're all data.
Right.
So I've kind of been in that space for 15+ years,
That's really good. That's really good. But I need to ask, because obviously at some point you said that you were doing mathematics and you were doing accounting, and at some point 10 years down the line, you decided to switch into IT and tech. What made you make choice? I mean,
aside the obvious,
the money.
I mean, like we know what we're here for, right? Like, I mean, we didn't fly all the way around half the world to come and look at the streets.
That's right.
But of course, that's one. But jokes aside, there's the accounting element, of course, that I talked about. But I knew early on that it wouldn't be the path for me. Because it didn't really open as much challenges as I would like. Whereas, like the maths part opened, there were a lot of things that you could actually go into doing that, and the problems in that space are harder and they're difficult to solve. And you just think, okay, over time you're going to still find something intellectually stimulating in that space, and so that's basically what took me down that path. Plus it's harder, and because it's harder, the competition is fewer.
Right.
So
I like that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you know
what? Like we spoken about I can't remember what episode number it was, but talking about like gatekeeping in like the immigrant community, and then like you're smiling.
That's one of my best episodes I've ever listened to. Yeah,
you are just spoken about reasons why you transition from accounting and mathematics into the technology industry, and you are talking about actively seeking challenge as one of the reasons why you transition. And I feel like that's one of the things a lot of people don't. I think personality wise, maybe that plays a role. Some people are comfortable just, doing the same thing over and over again. And some people are kind of like adventurous. And I think you're, based on what we've discussed so far, you're obviously someone that loves to like take a leap and it's really interesting. What is your opinion on kind of like the mindsets, like I don't want to speak for everyone, but I feel like generally when we speak to people, people don't make those kind of like career switches. People are a bit kind of like reserved when it comes to making leaps like that. Like what are your opinions? Why do you think people aren't kind of like willing to explore like that? People come in, you can have like your uncle that came to the UK 40 years ago and he's been doing the same job for 40 years.
I'm sure we all have uncles, but I kid you not.
But you have to cut them slack because they came in at a time when access wasn't as open as they are now.
Interesting.
And yes, mindset may have played a part, and also for some of them, they came here later. And when you're older, it's harder to make a transition from one thing to the other. I like whenever I think about that, I give that consideration, and so for that generation specifically, it's kind of like, okay, this is what they are used to, and this is what they're comfortable with, and so it's easier for them to
that's great.
Enter that space.
That's great. But on that same episode, which I'll come back to, is that we talked about those who, when you come in, they feel like, oh, we couldn't do it, so you can't do it.
Okay, that I have a massive problem.
Good. At least we agree on one.
I have a huge problem with, like,
and they'll start. So, don't do that because it doesn't work. People like us, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I get where it's coming from. Which is, typically in like African families, they want your traditional jobs, doctor, those hats that are so clear. They know how the beginning is.
How it is.
They know how the end is. They know how the middle is, and everything else in between. So I get where that's coming from. But to one of the points Cyril raised earlier, and for me, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right?
Love that.
Man,
like you're
dropping bombs today, man. I kid you not. Man, we need to put down the speed.
he said, Cyril said it was something about mindset. But yes, mindset plays a part there. But you just have to be comfortable with being in spaces that make you uncomfortable. Like being uncomfortable helps growth. That's how you grow. Like if you go to the gym or whatever, it's when you start lifting the heavier weights, right? That's when you actually go from one level to the next. So it's kind of like the same.
And I have a saying that sort of becomes an analogy with what you said, because you know how the elastic works. You stretch it to some point, it becomes used to that point. And when you bring it back, you see some loopholes on top of the elastic band. That is what it is.
You're giving me mad flashbacks.
I think Silver is just like having moments.
When back in secondary school, man, I had elastic boxes.
I'm not sure where this is going.
You stretch it, I think you put it back, you see the big, and that makes you see that it's getting comfortable to that.
Yes.
Obviously, at the first point, it wasn't. But eventually it does.
But I also recognize that that's not easy for everybody. That's not easy for everybody.
It's not.
I always say that you cannot apply the same metrics or parameters for what success look like for you to everybody else. So some people might just be comfortable being comfortable, right? They might be comfortable, okay, they've moved to the UK and they find themselves in the same environment as they try to move away from. And for some, it's okay. So I try not to, certainly from my point of view, try not to impose my own version of what success look like.
Brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. So you've made that shift from accounting and mathematics into tech. How was your experience from the onset of tech?
All right.
Yeah.
One thing to say, I never actually went into the accounting space. I killed it very quickly. And I did that because, and that's not to knock that career path or anything, but for me, I knew very quickly what I was going to get from that.
Okay,
interesting.
And so from my first year at uni to second year, I started reducing those courses that are in that space. And even specifically the management side of it was what I had interest in, as opposed to the practice side. But to answer your question was about like what the transition or what made me.
Well, the moment you moved into digital marketing, you started doing a bit of tech.
Yeah.
What was your first experience like? What was your general experience, not just work experience, but the feedback?
For me, I went into that space 10 years after I had started working elsewhere, and my initial reaction was, I should have been here from the start.
I like that.
Like from the point of view of I avoided first I avoided digital marketing or marketing in general for a long time, because I felt like it's soft. Soft maybe may not be the right word to describe it, but it's quite artistic, right? There's a lot of subjective things in there, and having discussed my background, it's kind of like, okay, logical, etc. And I was like, I don't think this space would work for me. And also, like, when we kind of like the same generation and stuff like that, but like when we came out of university and stuff like that, all of these spaces were quite new-ish.
Yes.
I think they didn't really, I would say they didn't really mature like that until like the last 10 years. But maybe, Google, Facebook, they've all been there since 2005 or 2000 whatever. But like, it wasn't until like late 10s that they kind of like figured out, okay,
exactly,
this is what, you know, our space is
going to make money from this and all.
Yeah. And so it was at that period that I started discovering, okay, there are things that I can actually do in this space. And I was lucky enough that my first rodeo in that space was at a digital agency, and I was working with Google, who happened to be like the dawn. They happened to be the dawn of the space.
The king of kings.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh wow. So I can be doing all of these things, and then I just found so many things that I could just go into in that space. And so I think, you know, it took me a while to get into that space, but as soon as I got in there, like, there was just so many that would just keep you going. Yeah.
And then, do you think you got your motivation from all your journey? Because don't get me wrong, you've got 19 years in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You've got 10 years at this point in time, or 11 years-ish.
Yes.
From the UK.
Yes.
Do you think having that cultural background in Nigeria sort of played a role in your success?
100%. Like, I know Nigerians and Africans, West Africans, like, education success is like, it's a big deal. Like, for my parents, like for my dad, like, education it's everything. Like, you have to, that's like the base level. And so, like, I already had that wired in me. And so kind of like being in this space where, you don't have to deal with the chaos of the environment that you're in.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you did that, chances are this and this and this will open up, because the rest of the other areas are a bit more organized. And so I, you know, that background played a part. And then being in an environment where, okay, like, you know, you go to uni, you do well at uni, you apply for jobs, you have to apply, you have to work really hard.
It was all set in stone.
Yeah. So it's just that environment where you kind of like, okay, things work and stuff like that.
You know, when you said like back home, like parents are expecting you to do the best.
Yeah.
Man, were you shipped at some point?
Was I what?
Were you shipped at some point when you didn't do too well?
Oh yeah, of course.
I kid you not. This is what I want to say. No, because you know, it was socialization back in West Africa is entirely different.
Yeah.
You go to school, you get religious and moral education.
Yeah.
As one of the courses you do.
Yeah.
If you come back home, you pass B in maths and get F in RME, and they'll give it to you.
Do you know what? I think
you wouldn't even dare.
I feel like this.
You see that F, you cross.
Maths, what did you
discussion?
Maths, no. RME, boom.
All the people that had the A's, they have two heads. We all heard that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have heard that before. I have heard that many times before. I think this part of the discussion kind of like opens up, you know, like we're trying to like appeal to like be relatable to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
or we're just trying to do our thing. But I feel like it gives a little bit of context as to why the way West Africans are the way we are.
Yeah.
Because that context, we are from different countries, but we relate
to
especially
to
that part
morals,
of, you know what I mean? Like, there's that expectation to, like, academically to be, like, on your game, like, no slacking whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then there's also, in terms of, like, the career path, as you mentioned, there's certain stereotypical careers that you're expected to, like, fall in line and follow those paths.
Yeah.
So I feel like, for those of you that are watching that, have different backgrounds, I hope it gives you a little bit of context on why West Africans in particular are the way we are, the context in which we grew up, the context in which we, like, went to school. And I hope it's interesting, because I certainly find it interesting. It gives me a bit of nostalgia, like, talking about this. It's like, man, we had to, like, go through that phase. Is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And I can tell that, like you said earlier as well, Henry, that you've picked a bit of the background you had from Nigeria and a bit of background you had from the UK, and then you sort of made a decision that this is where I want to be, and that's where you are now.
Yeah.
In between the time that you were obviously doing digital marketing and you're happy and you're thinking, I should have made this decision earlier and whatnot and all of that, you were at a point, I'm sure, where you felt, okay, I belong here. What made you make the extra step to move to another country? Because you're a globetrotter. And we've already
well-established globetrotter, bro.
We've already ascertained that fact.
Yeah.
What made you make that extra push to get into the United States?
That's a great question. To be honest, for me, it's like, where is the limit? There is no limit.
Yeah, I like that.
Man,
there is no limit. Right?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been there for several months now. But I'm already thinking, like, what's next?
What else?
What's next?
Like,
If you could go into Mars with Elon Musk, I'm sure you would.
Not with Elon. I don't trust that. I don't trust that guy. We're not gonna go into why.
Elon is a favorite on this pod for some reason. We love it.
Do you know
the fact that he's doing it well?
I have to reevaluate.
Honestly, in recent times, we are trying not to, like,
go on the those kind of things. That
but, like, in recent times, obviously the guy has a huge. We're sidetracking a little bit. The guy has a huge, like, track record and reputation, like, very decorated. Involvement in PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla. The Boring Company, all of that. But
that's why I said
my problem is he bends the system.
but I'm not gonna say.
Let's crack on.
It's not good.
I'm not gonna dig us in another rabbit hole. Anyway, so you've arrived in the US.
Yes.
Was that your first time you arrived there?
Yeah.
Oh, so you had never visited before?
No, I hadn't.
When you arrived there, was that like part of the job interview where you sort of get in there, have a feel of it, see if this is what you like, and say yes to the job interview? Or was it like you go in there, you see first, I don't like this, come back and be like, oh, because I know you're a married man and you're happily married and I know your missus and all of that. But what was it then? Was it part of the interview bits for you to have a feel of it, or was it just for you to have your own personal side feel of it first before you decide whether you want to make the move?
That's I think slightly the second one, where I wanted to get a taste or a feel of it, but I think this is an extreme. I don't want to call it an extreme version of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, but in my case, there's always a why not, just go for things.
Just
right?
go for it,
And at times for me, I will just put my legs just to see like what's on the other side. So there's a bit of risk taking there too. So I didn't really. I mean, some of the questions that I had people ask me in that time was, so you've not been to New York. How is that you're actually deciding to uproot your entire life to go to New York?
So it was New York that you went to first?
Yeah. So
that's not a good place to go to first because you'll be bamboozled. The place was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Yeah. But like, I grew up in Nigeria. Well, I was born in Nigeria. I grew up in Nigeria. I moved around in Nigeria. Yeah. I'm sorry, like, where on this face of earth can you put me that?
I was gonna say, like, if you're coming from Nigeria,
yeah,
you know, like comparatively, those of you that know Africa, like, Nigeria is kind of like the United States of, like, the USA in Africa, in the continent, right? Comparatively, in terms of like the size of the economy, in terms of like the, how do I describe it?
Their culture in general,
national psyche, just the way the energy the people have and all of that. So like a Nigerian is already like, see, when
already
you're born, it's
experienced everything, isn't it?
It's like
Oju and Legba.
I'm telling you, and honestly, like I had the perfect cocktail of. I was born in Kano, which is northern Nigeria, and culture there, and also took in some like behavioral traits from them. My parents are from the east of Nigeria, which is like the Igbos, which we know their industry.
And
then I spent time in Lagos, Abuja, and different places. I picked up a lot
before you left.
Before I left, and so there isn't any place that. Maybe extreme Alaska or something.
even that, I would argue.
You're going to cold, you'd be like, minus 25 is fine.
Yeah, but even that, like, you probably still find Nigerians there.
Nothing beats the experience you had when you walked in obviously in New York.
Absolutely. Like I walked in there and having spent time in Nigeria and London, it's kind of like a combination of both. Like Lagos specifically in terms of like energy, it has the Lagos energy hustle. Man, a guy on the at the airport when we landed was trying to get us an Uber. Outside of the app, like he was trying to sell us it. Like it was mind blowing. Like you could take like $75 to get to where I needed to get to. But this guy was trying to give us a discount of like $139.
Wow.
How?
And we're like, this is crazy. And then we walk to a taxi guy and it's like, you're in the US. Everyone, you can say no if you want. So like that energy, everyone's hustling.
Everybody's trying to make it.
And then there's a bit of the organization of like a Western nation.
Good.
So
that's but I need to ask again. I think I'm asking a lot of questions.
You go for it.
I'm just listening.
But what did you take along with you when you went to the US? When you decided, obviously when you got there and you thought, oh, this is the place I need to be now, because probably it's a step over.
Yeah.
What did you take along with you from Nigeria and the UK?
Okay, that's a great question you asked. So just now I said I lived in different parts of Nigeria, and from each region I actually took something. And actually occurred to me now that what I may have taken from the north is nomadic tendencies.
Okay.
So like, I like
that.
That they're nomads. And so, just having that means that you're able to just show up anywhere and just survive. Well, not just survive, but thrive. So I think there's a bit of that. And then there's a bit of the eastern side that is like, okay, you gotta hustle, you gotta make it, right? And so there's that part also that contributes. And then the western side, let's combine some of these other things that I've talked about, but also like the liveliness,
the social
I love it. So that brings all those three things. And then like New York is like the melting pot of like industry and like fun. And like in the first day within I think we just came out of our hotel on Times Square, turned left, within 2 minutes walk, there's this big Lagos like it's a bar / restaurant.
You were like,
what else do you need? I'm home. Like literally just on the first day, I literally just went there and like I've frequented that. Like I go to that place like almost every other week.
I mean, I can sort of relate a bit, you know, because I've like we said in the previous episode, Cyril, that I've been to South Africa before I even got here. So I knew, you know, if you go to Joburg, it feels more like London.
Yeah.
But a little bit different. But you could feel like the vibes and people driving on the other side of the roads. Because I'm from Ghana, and obviously we drive on the other side.
Same as Nigerians,
isn't it?
Drive,
Nigerians drive just like us.
Yeah.
So I've got in there, and people are driving on the other side, and I'm thinking, oh my, it's different. So I embrace that culture, and I get here, and it's the same. And I'm thinking, okay, I've been there before, right?
Yeah.
But my missus and I and the kids, we get to New York and they're all like, lights everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Times Square is like looking lit. And I'm thinking, flipping out.
Yeah.
This place would easily poach you if it has to.
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity.
Yeah.
And we've spoken up many times. Cyril and I on the sidebar. About how it would poach you easily. Do you think that experience that you had with your missus when you visited sort of set you on a certain radar that I need to get there? If there's a job opening there, I'm going for it. Do you think that that's what will happen then?
I think we both have this mindset or outlook in life where whatever that opportunity is, like we're going for it.
Yeah.
And so that made something like moving to New York easy.
Yeah.
And so like this entire process was something that happened within, let's say, 6 weeks from me going, oh, wait, there's this opportunity here to like securing the opportunity. And also speaking to my missus, and she's like, go for it, let's go.
Yeah.
So that makes it easy. And of course, we both have, we're both from Nigeria, etc. And I've said a lot about Nigeria. As soon as we landed New York, she was like, okay, she's accelerating her move. Like, so
happy days.
Yeah. So that just made things easy for me. So rather than like have to take it slow, you know how we talked a bit about dip your your legs in the water and then figure out if you want that. But like immediately she was like, oh, she's all in, and I mean, what else do you want to hear?
I love that.
Yeah,
it's always great if like your partner is on the same wavelength as you. I mean, that's the point of it in the first place, but it's always nice when you have that kind of alignment.
Absolutely.
Everything just falls in place like that.
Because I kid you not, we feel that obviously, and I'm sure Cyril feels the same because I've had discussions with him. Whenever you push yourself to the next limit where you feel like, oh, this is uncomfortable, but I need to be here. It's uncomfortable, but I need. It's a need. You need to have that need. To be able to sort of excel yourself.
And even when you get there, it's like, I should be here.
Do you know what? That what you just said, both of you, I'm gonna pick something from what each of you have said. So firstly, we're talking about realizing that okay, there's this amount of growth that I can attain. So I need to do that. So firstly, you have that realization that there's a gap above your head. And that you feel like there's the opportunity to fill that gap. There's opportunity to grow. And then also, there's that part where you get there and you're like, right, okay, this is for me. Like, we spoke about imposter syndrome. Like, you get into a place and you're like, do you know what? Is this the right thing for me? Do I deserve this? Like, and then from our shared experience as first generation immigrants, like, what was it like for you? Firstly, moving from Nigeria to the UK, and then in this second move that you've made, like, what was it like for you?
That's this imposter syndrome thing is actually an interesting one. I think a healthy dose of that is good. But I tend to have this approach where everything for me is a bonus. Right? Like everything is a bonus. And so it's kind of like, okay, like that next thing is still a bonus. And I also think about the people that are around. And sometimes you know that some people are winging it. Like everybody is winging
I kid you not. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I'm sure everybody's got... We all do work.
Yeah.
We all have somebody who's winging it.
Yeah. So like sometimes you look around and you're like, okay, I can actually sort of pick out two people that actually know what's up. And then everybody else is just trying to figure this thing out the same way as you are. And so for me, that helps.
And when you got those two people that you know that figured it out already on your side of the corner, it's absolutely
it's amazing. Like when you know you figure them out, like you know who they like, just copy what they're doing. Just try to figure out. Okay,
they're already
from them. Yeah.
In terms of feedback, in terms of whatever it is, they are good.
Yeah.
So you want to be following their footsteps.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite similar to where I am now. Like, we haven't really gone deep into it.
We need to.
We talk about it, but we haven't really gone deep into it. But knowing exactly what you like, what's expected of you.
Yeah.
And delivering on that alone should be enough. For you to then set that aside and put family and say, obviously, what are we doing with family side of things? Because work is work.
Yeah.
But you'll finish work at any given point in time in the day.
Yeah.
If it's 4 p.m., it's 5 p.m., 3 p.m., it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You will still finish anyway.
Yeah.
And then you get to the family side of things.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that right now? Because I know it's a bit of a tricky slope. But how are you dealing with it right now?
I mean, this one is like it's different for different people. So right now, it's just myself and Kamari, and so that's easy, for us or for me to deal with. I know we were talking before we got on this podcast, and some of the things you get up to, like doing your masters and things like that. Like, that's a lot of time, sock, and commitment on top of being a family man as well. And so I think we managed this quite well, given that we both have the same type of jobs. And you know, if I think back to COVID times, we were spending most of the time together at home, and so that was easier to navigate.
Yeah. Oh, COVID was for family.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me otherwise.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. In fact, COVID was that time that we actually started living together.
Oh, brilliant.
And so that actually accelerated the relationship. But to answer your question, I think that's it's easy for me to handle, and I appreciate that for so many people it's different. And so because of the type of job that we have being similar, we'll finish around the same time.
Okay, that's interesting.
And then there's it's a different time zone and all of that. But obviously
there's that too now.
I know we're running a bit over time, guys. You probably are having as much fun as we are having here. But I need to say that on the closing side of it, what kind of lessons have you learned?
On which side?
In terms of moving into another country and obviously moving from the mathematics and accounting that you thought you were going to be doing into tech. So crossing to a different country, culture is different.
Yeah.
Obviously crossing into
a different domain.
In terms of tech is different. Yeah. What lessons have you learned in general?
Yeah, I would say for me the biggest thing is just having an open mind. I know I began this conversation by saying what at 7 I thought I was going to do. And then how that changed. And then when I started my career, it was completely different to where I discovered tech. But essentially it's just like having that open mind. No one is able to predict in 10 years time what they are going to do. But just being open, and also just being like continuing to work on the things that you're working, and just believing that the paths will just open up when you get there. And so having that open mind is like the biggest thing for me, and essentially like not being afraid of
risks
or
failure.
Everything could go wrong, and I know that it's easier for some people to say than others, because you don't know why everyone's doing what they're doing, but like being able to just take that risk, calculated ones actually, maybe sometimes just jump.
Right? You need to leap.
Sometimes just jump. But I think that would be something else that I would say. There's something else that for me was also or has been a driving factor. So I am the first son in my family, and so with that comes with additional responsibilities as well. I can see these.
No, we are on the same level.
And so you know that comes with another
different responsibility.
And so you know, okay, I have to make things work. You know, so there's that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were not wrong when we said you are one of our favorite people. Because whenever we have discussions with you, we could sort of like reflect on ourselves,
and also learn something,
and learn new things and all of that.
Hopefully not too deep.
No, do you know what?
You have no idea.
I think we've said this time and again, like the reason we started this podcast is one, we found that when we had conversations, like you in like
go too deep,
bro, like in an hour you're here, in 2 hours you're here, in 3 hours you're deep. And then also we realize that like we're very curious people, and it's always nice when you have stimulating conversations with people, and then you pick up things, you learn things from people, and that's what this is all about for us. So it's been like it's nice to like
have someone that's
but also it's nice to kind of like dig deep and then get a bit of more context as to how people are the way they are, and it's
absolutely. And I think your journey is quite remarkable as well, in a way that you've come into the United Kingdom. It's not easy here. It's not an easy playing field.
It's not.
And the fact that you've decided to make another move, a step up, or whatever it is. I mean, the US and the UK is literally on they're playing on that field. But the fact that you've decided to move into another culture and literally embrace it and assimilate it, that's a milestone for us. And we look at you as one of our favorite people who's always going to be a good person.
I'm touched.
I feel like there's another level to this. There's multiple levels to this conversation.
Should you not? We might have to catch him on another episode.
We definitely do. I don't know what you guys think, but I think at some point it has to happen.
Because I want to go deeper, but honestly, because we don't have the time. But anyway,
we've only touched like the surface, and I feel like there's so much more that we need to discuss.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. You guys, let us know in the comments. Let us know. I feel we should definitely have another episode with Henry.
He'll probably be in your kind of time.
I can remotely join at any time. It's always fun, like hanging out with you guys.
And another thing is that I know you're an Arsenal fan. I couldn't finish this episode without saying
we're ready for you this season. So go.
I know you've realized we bought world-class stars as Liverpool, and then we are gonna be winning this.
It's actually difficult having these types of Liverpool fans.
You never walk alone. Cyril is a Liverpool fan. Whether he knows
Premier League title,
he's a Liverpool fan. He doesn't go into that.
What's your team?
I don't follow football.
Anyone that says this, I just put them as United fan, Manchester United.
Actually, from where I sit, as someone that doesn't really watch football, no shade to United fans, but it seems like anytime I go online and I look at Twitter or news,
that's what you see, right?
Those guys are like struggling. That's the impression that I get.
I kid you
That
not.
is the impression.
And I'm happy to say it as a Liverpool fan. United is struggling.
He's enjoying it.
And then I know that we've won the league. We are Premier League winners, and we are buying expertise kind of players
enjoying this while.
And we're gonna get Isak at some point, and then when we do, we're gonna win the league again. And then I'm happy to see you on the.
Enjoyed it. I don't know if you've heard about Arsenal fans. I believe we're the most insufferable. So wait until we win this. We're terrible without the league. Imagine what will happen when
they had a season that they call what's the name of that season where you guys never lost?
Invincible.
Invincible.
It's never been done before.
Bruv.
How long was that?
Bruv. Invincible means you never lost in the season.
That's what
regardless of what competition you were playing in. I kid you not. Does it matter though if you didn't win the Champions League?
He's still talking about it though.
No. We've won 5. They've never won one at all.
Do you know what?
You're the one that mentioned Invincible. I do. It still means something.
That's one of the things
in all fairness.
Me and Henry always sort of talk on WhatsApp about, and this viewers, this is one of the reasons why he's one of our favorite people, and we always sort of engage with him, regardless of the boundaries, whether he's in New York or he's in Didcot, in Oxfordshire, wherever he is. Yeah. We are family and we are brothers, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
We are happy to have you on, and I'm sure we'll have you on the next.
It's going to happen again.
No, thank you for having me.
We scratched the faces, but we didn't really dig deep. So we need to do another episode.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff, as we typically do. We talk about like the general stuff, and then we take these like philosophical dives, like these. We go into these rabbit holes, and I feel like we haven't really done that here. And so in typical BSR fashion, it has to happen.
You have to get
so we are going to hold you to it.
Yeah, just tell me when, and then we'll make it happen.
It's a pleasure, and we hope you catch it on the next one. And see, episode 3 is going to be absolutely fantastic. We've got another guest on. We'll say goodbye now to Henry, and we'll meet him again on another episode because we need him. And then thank you so much, Henry, for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Easy. See you.
See you later.